Namaste all, and welcome to this Sagittarius full moon lunar flow. Now this flow is from the Spirit Daughter workbook, and I will be guiding you through that. I'll just be adding my own little warm-up at the start rather than just going straight into it. But I'm just going to grab my Spirit Daughter workbook and go through the explanation as to why we're going to be doing the poses that we're going to be doing. So here we are. Sagittarius rules the hips and thighs. She also rules the hip flexors, including the psoas, which is a muscle that runs from the mid-spine all the way to the front of the hips. Okay, it is primarily responsible for helping us to walk. Energetically, the psoas controls the fight or flight response, and it allows us to either curl up into a ball or charge forward. It contracts when we are feeling fear, and often fear stagnates here, affecting our ability to change. And in the yoga world, the hips are renowned for a place where emotions get stored. Okay, which is why when you do a hip heavy class, it's not uncommon to kind of feel surges of emotions. I've definitely had yoga classes in the past where it's been really hip heavy, and then I've had some tears release during the shavasana. And it says, during a Sagittarius full moon, we want to open up the hips and psoas so we are free to walk into new territory, both mentally and physically. Through opening this area, we release fear and permit ourselves to step into our destiny. So without further ado, if you want to just come down seated on your mat, and we'll just do a few little warm-ups. And as it says, it is a very leg and hip heavy class, but what we'll do first is we'll just do a few twists. So in a comfortable seated position, easy pose. If you want to take half lotus, feel free. I'm just going to come into an easy pose here, and then take your hands either side of your hips and just walk them out as far as they will go. Really stretching those fingertips, as that will heighten the stretch. It'll feel more intense, so you can always back off if it's too intense. Okay, and if you just want to draw your right ear towards your right shoulder. You can also, if you wish, bring your right hand up and over to your left ear, just to gently guide yourself slightly deeper into the stretch. Remember, stretching those left fingers will intensify the stretch. And release. And we'll come and do the other side. So dropping the left ear towards the left shoulder, but still keeping the shoulders rolled back and down, so we're not hunched up. And just breathing into that stretch. Once again, you can bring your left hand up and over to guide yourself into the stretch. And I also find it's really lovely in these not as challenging postures to close down your outer eyes and take yourself further into your body. Okay, and release. Inhale the arms up overhead, and we're going to twist. So we're going to take our left hand to our right knee and our right arm out behind us, and then exhale into the twist. Inhale to create length, and then exhale into the twist. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead, and then exhale, come to the other side. So right hand to left knee, left hand out behind us. Those shoulders still stacked over those hips, so we're not leaning to one side or the other, the front or the back. So we have the twist in the spine. Inhale those arms up overhead, and then exhale if you want to bring the hands behind your back and then clasp them together and press those fists down towards your mat. rolling those shoulders behind and down, lifting the chest up towards the sky, maybe slightly looking up towards the ceiling or sky, wherever you're doing it today. It's very rainy and windy and wet in Wales, but I do hope to get out into the stream to record some classes for you in the future. And then exhale, release, and then we're just going to come forward with our hands. So if you just want to bring both of your hands forward, placing whichever hand you wish to on top of the other and just pushing those hands forward. And then maybe dropping your chin towards your chest. So if you jut out your chin first and then slowly lower it, this is just going to stretch out the space in between your shoulder blades. Okay, and then last little stretch before we get on into it is just opening up these hips that are going to be worked a bit today. So if you take out your left leg, and I want you to grab your left foot with your right hand, and then with your left hand you want to support the rest of your leg. So you can either grab behind the knee and then just move intuitively from side to side, just opening up that hip in a guided fashion. This posture is known in English as cradle the baby. And you can also take the left hand and thread it underneath the left thigh for some more support. But a really important thing in this posture is to still have your spine nice and straight. Okay, and then whenever you're ready, switching over legs, so taking your right foot in your left hand, picking her up, and then guiding that hip to open back and forth across the midline. Once again, you can take your right hand to the outside of the knee. You can thread it underneath the calf. Okay, and then when you're ready, guys, come to standing at the top of your mat. So if we come onto our feet, and then as we come up, just come into a ragdoll first. So feet at hip distance apart. Really bend those knees, resting the torso on the thighs, and the hands can either rest on the mat, or you can take opposite hand to opposite elbow and then just slowly swing from side to side, just waking up the hamstrings a little bit and also giving the upper back a bit of a stretch too. Just gravity will help here. Make sure your head is hanging low and your neck is nice and loose. So shake that head, yes. Shake it, no. Straighten and bend those legs. Remembering to breathe, and then release the hands if they are not released, and then slowly roll your way up to standing. Imagine one vertebrae on top of the other, head coming up last. Oh, I neglected to say at the start, but we might need the aid of some blocks, or if you don't have any blocks, some books, a little stool, a little chair. I'm just going to grab mine quickly, and then I'll be right back with you. Okay, we don't need them straight away. I'll just put them there. Okay, so standing at the front of our mat, you can have your big toe joints touching and a slight gap in your heels. We're going to inhale, raise our arms up to the sky. Exhale, come down into a fold. Inhale to that halfway lift. Exhale, hands to mat and step back into a high plank. Lower down through knees, chest, chin, or through a chaturanga. Coming over into upward dog, or cobra. And then exhale, downward dog. Inhale your right leg high and step it through in between your hands. Lower that back knee to the ground. Raise the arms up. We're coming into a crescent lunge. Lift up that back knee, step back into a high plank. Lower down through chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Flip over into upward dog. Exhale, back to downward dog. Lifting that left leg up now, stepping it through in between the hands. Lowering the back knee down to our lunge. Inhaling the arms up with our back knee lowered. Exhale, hands either side of the front foot. Lift up that back knee, step back into high plank. Lower down through chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Inhale through to up dog, exhale through to downward dog. Take a few breaths here. You can do some open mouth exhales to release any tension that you have built up. Make sure that neck hasn't got any tension in it. So shaking it no, nodding it yes. Inhale, look forward, step to the front of your mat. And then inhale that halfway lift. Exhale to fold, and then inhale all the way up to standing. And we're going to do that one 2 more times. So inhale, raise the arms up overhead, looking up towards those hands. Exhale, fold with straight legs or in the direction of straight. Inhale that halfway lift. Exhale, hands to mat, stepping back to plank. Exhaling down through knees, chest, chin or chaturanga. Inhaling to up dog or cobra. Exhale to downward dog. Okay, lifting that right leg up high, stepping it in between the hands. Lowering down the back knee for our crescent moon. Inhale, raise the arms up. Exhale, hands to mat. Lift the back knee, step back to plank. Exhale down through chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Inhale through to up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Then inhaling the left leg up. Exhale, stepping it in between the hands. Lowering down the back knee for our crescent moon. Inhaling the arms up. Drawing the inner thighs towards each other, even though they're not touching. Exhale, hands to mat. Lift that back knee, step back, high plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, back to downward dog. This is our last round of sun salutation with lunges. And we're going to start off on the left leg this time. So inhaling the left leg high. Exhale, step it in between the hands. Dropping the back knee down. Inhale. Arms up. Exhale. Hands to mat. Lifting that back knee. High plank, lowering down through chaturanga on the exhale. Inhaling to up dog or cobra. Exhale, back down to our downward dog. And then inhaling the right leg up high. Exhale, right foot through in between the hands. Lower the back knee down. Inhaling the arms up to our crescent moon. Exhale, hands back down either side. Lifting that back knee, stepping back to high plank. Exhale, lowering down through chaturanga. Inhale to up dog or cobra. And exhale, back down to our downward dog. Taking a few breaths here. Noticing how our body feels after our few sun salutations. Inhale, look forward, step forward, coming to our halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, come all the way up to standing, and exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to mat. Stepping back once again into our high plank, lowering down through knees, chest, chin. Inhaling to up dog or cobra. Exhaling down to our downward dog. Now, inhale the right leg up high for our three-legged dog. Exhale, step it in between the front hands. And here we are going to come up once again into a lunge, but we're going to keep the back knee lifted. So rather than crescent moon, we are now in crescent lunge pose. So drawing those inner thighs up towards each other. And then once we're nice and stable in our legs, inhaling the arms up. The more we push out our back heel, the more stable we will feel also. And then we're going to add in a twist here. So it's our right knee that is bent. So we're going to inhale, create that length, and then exhale. The left arm is going to come forward and the right arm is going to go backwards. Adding in a twist to our lunge. Breathing here. Nice and steady, in and out through the mouth. And then we're going to cartwheel our way down, back to the mat. So I'm going to exhale that left hand down towards the mat, but keep the right arm lifted. So we're now in a lunge, a twisted lunge pose. So once again, drawing those inner thighs towards each other, lifting up those hips, and looking up if the neck allows towards the right hand. Spread your left fingers and hand nice and wide. So we've got a stable base here, so no collapsing into the shoulder, nice strong shoulders. Exhale, release the right hand down to the mat. Step back into your high plank. Exhale, lower down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale to up dog or cobra. And then exhale to our downward dog. Now inhale that left leg up high, step it on through between the hands, and a nice stable base with your feet and legs, drawing those inner thighs towards each other. Once you're nice and stable, inhale, come up to the crescent lunge. And now our left foot is facing forward, so we're going to inhale, exhale to add our twist, and our right arm's coming forward and our left hand is coming backwards. If the neck allows, look towards the back hand. But if there's a little bit too much tension here, then just continue to look forward to your front hand. On an exhale, we're going to cartwheel our way down towards the mat, just pausing whilst we add in our twist. So exhale, bringing your right hand down towards your mat, and then the left hand up towards the sky. Nice open shoulders here. Taking a few breaths here. And then exhale, lowering that left hand down towards the mat. Stepping back into our high plank. Exhale to lower down. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward dog. And now your choice here. You can either come with me to do a vinyasa, or you can stay in your downward dog or drop down into your child's pose. So whichever one you feel like your body needs right now. So I'm just going to look forward on my inhale, step to the top of my mat for a halfway lift. Exhale to fold, and inhale, come all the way up to standing. So these vinyasas are all optional. You can always skip the vinyasa and just stay in downward dog or drop down into child's pose. Inhale, raise the arms up. Exhale to lower. We're going to meet when we're back in downward dog. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to mat. Stepping one foot back and the other. Lowering down through knees, chest, chin or chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhale to downward dog. Now raise the right leg up behind you, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring him through and step that foot in between the hands, directly in between the hands. I'm going to drop that back left foot onto the ground, and we're going to cartwheel up into a warrior two position. So warrior two on the right leg. And if we look down our feet, the heel of your right foot, if you kind of track it back, should be dissecting the middle of your left foot. Okay, so that is the alignment kind of placement for the feet for this pose. Shoulders down away from the ears. Focus point is the front hand. Pushing down through the heel or the edge, the blade edge of the back foot will create more stability here. And then moving into reverse warrior. So inhaling, coming forward slightly, and then exhaling, lifting that right hand up towards the sky and gliding the left hand down the left leg. And then on an exhale, coming through to extended side angles. So we're going to rest our right forearm on the right knee, and then exhale that left hand either up towards the ceiling or up and over towards the front of our mat. If you're coming over towards the front of your mat, just internally rotate your arm, so kind of bringing your pinky inwards and down towards the earth will help with the internal rotation. It helps keep your shoulder away from your ears because you don't want it all scrunched up. We still want to be creating space and length. Inhale, come back up into a warrior two position, and then exhale, cartwheel back down. Bringing the hands to the mat, swiveling on those back toes. And then we'll come back into our plank position. So picking up that front foot, try to pick it up and lift it all the way back rather than dragging it. So lifting up that foot, placing it back to the left to meet the left foot, exhaling down through knees, chest, chin or chaturanga. Inhale up to up dog or cobra. Exhale into our downward dog. And we'll do it on the left side. So inhaling that left leg up behind you, three-legged dog. Exhale, stepping the foot through and then dropping the back right foot down. Cartwheeling up into our warrior two on the left side. And then just have a little check of the alignment of your front knee. So what you should be able to see is kind of like your kneecap and then your toes, okay? So you want to make sure the knee and the foot are in line. So our knee hasn't come either inwards towards the midline to the right or outwards to the left. We want knees and toes. We want the toes to be just poking out in front of that knee there. Once again, pushing down the blade edge of the back foot. Inhale, reach forward slightly. Exhale, come into our reverse warrior. So left arm raises this time. Right hand slides down the right leg. Big inhale and side stretch here. And then exhale, coming through to our extended side angle. So left forearm rests on the left knee. Right arm comes either up or up and over. Take a few breaths here. Breathing into that left hip. Inhaling, come up to our warrior two and exhale, cartwheel down, those hands either side of that front foot, swivel onto the toes of the right foot, the back foot, stepping the left foot back to meet the right. Exhale, lowering down through knees, chest, chin or chaturanga. Inhaling through to up dog or cobra. Exhaling back down to downward dog. Ooh. Take an open mouth exhale to release any tension. And if you want to have a little pedal of the legs here, do any sort of stretching as we've woken up those hips a little bit, then please do so. And then just come on back to stillness. Now inhale that right leg up. Exhale, step it through. Once again, we're going to come into warrior two feet, but the back heel or the back foot is going to be a lot closer together. So if our warrior two is like this, we're going to manage a triangle. So just shuffle that back foot in. In this pose, both legs are straight. So the right and the left leg are both straight. Inhale, reach the arms out to warrior two positioning, and then we're going to inhale, reach, 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 reach as far forwards as we can go, and then exhale, drop the right arm down towards the earth and the left hand up towards the sky. In this pose, we want to imagine like there's two panes of glass either side of us, so one on our front body and one on our back body. And we want to stay within those panes of glass. So if that means you are up here doing so, please stay up here. What we don't want is any collapsing of the chest. We want the chest to be nice and open. You can also use a block here if needs be. A few more breaths in triangle pose, and then we're going to come into half moon pose. So I'm just going to step back a tiny bit so I don't go into the plant. Okay, so in this pose, it's a balancing pose. So if you bend your right knee on an inhale, and then exhale, come on to balancing onto that right leg. Left leg is straight up behind you, hips are open, so the hips are stacked on top of each other. And once again, the left arm facing up towards the ceiling, nice and open again. This pose for me most definitely requires a block. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bend that left leg, catch the outside of the left foot with the left hand, and then opening up, so giving a stretch to that psoas. So the knee here is working towards, going up towards the ceiling. Woohoo! It's quite a tough balancy posture, that one for me. Just fell out of it, it's all good now. So come back in, so the knee going up towards the ceiling and the foot towards the earth. You can also, if you want, always come up and use a wall for support. And then exhale, release. And then slowly lower that back left foot towards the earth, and then cartwheels those hands down either side of the right leg. Step the right leg back to meet the left. Exhale down for your knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale through to up dog or cobra. Exhale into our downward dog. And then we're going to do that on the left hand side. So I'm just going to flip around. So you'll be able to see me on this side too. So inhaling that left leg up. Exhale, stepping through, foot between the hands, lowering that back foot down, coming up, cartwheeling our way up, and then straightening those legs. Now I'm a little wild here, so I'm just going to heel toe my back foot in, keeping the legs nice and straight. Warrior two arms. Get nice and stable in the legs. Really engage those quadriceps because it'll tell the hamstrings that they're safe to stretch. And give a little extra protection to the knee. And then reach, 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 reach. And then once we've reached no more, drop down. So this side may be different. For me, I don't go as low down towards my foot on this side. I'm more on my shin, which is fine. Stay here breathing. And this can be quite intense sometimes on the hamstring or the back of the knee, so that's why it's really important to engage the quadriceps. And then coming into half moon pose. So just look down towards that left foot and then bend into that left knee. I'm going to grab my block here. I'm going to inhale and then exhale, come up into that half moon pose, straightening that left leg, making sure that my right hip's stacked on top of my left hip. And then I'm actually going to come up further here, bend that right leg, catch the outside of the foot with the right hand. For Chapasana. So once again, knee going towards the ceiling and the foot kind of pulling back towards the glute, and more down towards the earth. Staying here for a few breaths, and then slowly with control, releasing back into half moon, slowly bringing that back foot down to the mat, and then cartwheeling those hands down and around to frame the front of the left foot. stepping back into the high plank. Exhale, lowering down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale through to up dog or cobra. Exhale, back into our downward dog. Whew. Once again, you can either stay here in downward dog, drop down into child's pose, or you can join me on a vinyasa. So if you're doing the vinyasa, look forward on an inhale, step into our halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to come all the way up. Arms come with. Exhale, hands to heart center. Taking a breath and checking in here. Noticing how you're feeling. Inhale, raise those arms up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to mat. Step one foot back, the other foot back. Lower down through knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale through to up dog or cobra. Exhale into our downward dog. And then we are going to inhale our right leg high. And then step that right foot to the outside of the right hand. So you might want to bring the right hand in slightly. Into lizard pose. So here our hands stay grounded on the earth. We want to be drawing the right knee in towards the right shoulder and the right side, so it's not hanging out or opening towards the right. I want to keep it in, and then we can start to lower down. So once again, you can grab a block, a book, whatever you have to hand. Blocks, if you are using one, have 3 different heights, so you've obviously got the tallest bit. Medium height, or its the lowest height here. Or, if it's accessible for you, come down onto the mat entirely. I'm going to go on the mid height for my block here. One of the most important things here as well is to make sure that if we are coming down towards the earth, that both of our arms are doing like the same, so we're not wonky. Taking a few breaths here. And then if you are on a block, just come up onto the hands and remove that block, and then we're going to go into half splits pose. So if you drop your left knee towards the earth, untuck the left toes, and then heel toe the right foot in towards the midline slightly, so that your right hand's now back on the outside of your right foot, and then we're going to straighten that right leg. Once again, here you can grab blocks if needs be. So we want to make sure that our hip is directly above our knee and our leg is straight. Also important for our back to be straight in this pose, so we're not hunched over. So that is why, if you need to, bring in those blocks. And the toes can either be pointed or flexed. Maybe just play around with how each of those sensations feel. And then we're going to come and do that on the other side. So to come out of the pose, we want to walk our hands forward, bend that front knee, tuck the left back toes under, and lift that back knee, stepping back into our high plank again, lowering down through knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, inhaling to up dog, exhaling back into downward dog, and going on for the left side, lifting that left leg up high, 3-legged dog. Exhale, stepping the left foot to the outside of the left hand, and keeping the back knee lifted here. Okay, so left knee really tucked into that shoulder. And then starting to lower down when you're ready. So on this side, I can make it all the way down to the mat, which I could not do on the other side. Once again, I'm just checking that my knee hasn't opened out to the left. Keep that tucked in as close as you can to the left shoulder. And breathe. Sending to the out breath. Sending the out breath to anywhere when there's a little bit of tightness or tension. Telling that it's safe to relax. And if you haven't lowered down, just come up onto your hands again. Take your left hand to the outside of your left foot, kind of heel toe your left foot in towards the midline. Slightly, not fully. And then we're going to do half split. So dropping that back right knee down towards the mat, untucking those toes, and then beginning to straighten out the left leg. Slowly coming back. Just need to adjust here by shuffling my foot forward slightly. Coming up onto my blocks. Once again, you've got the different heights that you can use. Making sure that spine is nice and straight, kind of folding forwards from the chest. Okay, if we fold forwards with the intention of folding from our chest, it reduces the chances of hunched backs. Once again, toes either flexed or pointed. Have a little test with. Namaste all. Apologies for the slight blip here in the video recording. I'm just going to talk you through the next couple of moves, just to link it all up, as there was a little bit of a blip gap. So we are in half splits on our left leg. And so to come out, just bend into that left knee, walk the hands forward so they're framing that front foot. Step the left foot back to meet the right, and then lower down into chaturanga or down through knees, chest, chin on the exhale, and then inhale through to up dog, and then hopefully we should all be linked up now. Inhaling through to up dog, cobra, exhaling downward dog. We've got one more pose on each side and then shavasana. So pigeon, inhale that right leg up high. Exhale, we want to bring the right foot so it's behind our left ankle, and then slowly lower down so our right knee's behind our right hand and the right ankle's behind the left hand, and then lower that back left knee down. And it's likely that the leg will want to bend. That's absolutely fine. Just kind of get yourself settled in this position. And then lower down into pigeon. So you can either stay up here, make sure you tuck in you're drawing your belly button back towards your spine, so we're not just kind of like dumping into our hips. And then you can start to lower down. Once again, you can use the blocks if you need to, come onto the forearms, or if it's accessible, coming all the way down. Resting a third eye on your forearms or on the mat. And breathing. Also a great pose here to close down the outer eyes and take your attention further inwards. Noticing the sensations within your body and within your hip. When you're ready to come up, just press into those hands, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, and we're going to pick up that leg and take it back. We're going to try not to drag it. So picking up the leg and then taking it back into our three-legged dog and then into downward dog. And then pigeon on the other side. So inhaling that left leg up high and exhaling, coming forward, bringing the left ankle and foot behind the right hand, and then the knee behind the left hand. Starting to lower down. Once again, the more parallel your foot is, it just works different parts of the glute, but it will depend on the openness of your hip and your glute. Each day will be different. Each time you do this pose, it will be different. You can also take pigeon in a reclining posture. And if it's accessible, just start to lower yourself down towards the mat. Taking it slow and steady as you go, breathing into those sensations. Sending the out breath to anywhere where there's tension. And now if you are here enjoying pigeon, please stay here. If this is a difficult pose, then I'm just going to flip and show you how to do a reclining pigeon. So reclining pigeon, you come and lay down on your back, and I'm going to show you reclining pigeon on your left leg. So what you'll do, on your right leg, so you'll take your left foot flat, bent knee, and then you will cross your right ankle over your left knee. Then you'll pick your left foot up off the floor, take your hands, and then grab your left thigh, clasping the hands behind the left thigh, and then slowly draw that left thigh towards your chest, and that works on your right hip. And you can kind of wedge your elbow into your knee as well to help open everything up. So that is pigeon on the right leg. And then on the left leg, you just switch sides. So right leg or right sole of foot comes down onto the mat, and right knee and leg are bent. And then the left ankle comes across onto the right knee, and then you grab, lifting up your right leg, you grab your right thigh and bring it towards you, ensuring that both of your feet are flexed and the toes are pointing back towards the knee. Okay, so test it without, so relax and don't engage those toes. Notice the difference to when you turn it on and engage. Okay, it intensifies. Right, okay, I'm going to flip over because you guys have been in pigeon on the left side for a little while now. So, coming back up onto your hands, tucking those right back toes and lifting the knee, and then picking up the front leg and taking it back into our three-legged dog, and then exhaling into downward dog. And then we're going to come through for our Shavasana pose. So we just inhale, look forward, and kind of step your left foot forward, and then step your right foot so it's coming behind the left foot, and then you can come into a seated position. And then slowly start to lower down. So bring your feet out in front of you, soles on the mat, and then slowly lower down with control onto your back for Shavasana. So if you've got a kind of like, if your lower back doesn't enjoy your legs being flat onto the mat here, you can always grab 2 blocks, a bolster, some cushions, pillows, whatever you have lying around the house, to give yourself a bit of extra height on the knees, and that will automatically push your lower back into the mat. And so just get comfortable here, do any final wiggles or stretches you feel like you need, and then come to stillness. So palms facing upwards towards the sky. Making sure your spine is nice and straight. So for me that means kind of like double chinning myself and tucking my chin in towards my chest. Closing down the outer eyes. And breathing. Please stay here for as long as you can. At least 5 minutes. And then once you're ready to come out, just bring your knees in towards your chest. Slowly roll over onto your right side. Lying there for a few moments. And then pushing yourself up to a seated position. Bring your hands into Anjali Mudra. So prayer position in front of your chest. Giving thanks to yourself for this practice. Namaste. Thank you all. See you on the next flow.